Hello and welcome to Lime Bay Press and our new video of creating artwork for photopolymer plates or mag plates using Affinity 2. This first section shows how to create a document in CMYK format that we found the best for creating your artwork. The best thing to do is to copy the settings that we have here, choosing your own particular size of document. Now, we're not experts at Affinity, but we've used it enough to be able to talk you through some of these things. In here, I'm just copying and pasting some text from just something that we typed out in Word into Affinity. We're not quite sure how making sure everything is 100% black, the CMYK works and get it to stay there for every single thing. But you'll see later on how we get around this. Affinity is like any other drawing software. Our favourite, obviously, we're Queens of Illustrator. But in here you can select all your fonts, change the sizes, the colour, just to get what you need, put more blocks in, move it all around. For this design, this rough test design that we're just using here, we've also imported or opened up just an Illustrator file, which is a vector drawing of a dragonfly. And just the same as the text, we're just cutting and pasting that into our design and resizing just to get it how we want. It's nothing too tricky in this instance, but we're hoping that it will give you an idea of the sort of thing that you can do in Affinity. You can in fact take it much, much further. Now moving on to this next bit, and it's the bit we find is the most important, and it's checking your line weights, because if the line isn't thick enough on your design, part of the text, part of a design, it will not hold on the plate. Now typically for polymer plates, it's a little bit less on mag plates. The minimum line thickness is 0.35 point on a 152 and 0.3 point on a 95 plate. Here I'm just drawing a line over my design at 0.3 point because Affinity won't let me set 0.35 point, and it was just overlaid over the type so that I can check the thicknesses. Here I'm just drawing a little bit of test type text so that you can see the problems that we have with fine fonts. I'm just taking everything back to 0 here. Let me just type this in, bear with me, and then we're going to zoom in so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this was just typed using times, 12 point I think. Zooming in, and again I'm going to draw that same line at 0.3 point, because like I said, Affinity won't let me use 0.35 point. And if we draw this line over our design, over our text, zooming in so that you can see, the line that we've drawn is actually thicker than the fine counters, the thinner points areas of the text. So we need to make our text a little bit thicker. So this is when we add a stroke. So you can see here, we're just adding a 0.1 point stroke to that text to see if it brings it up closer to what we need of 0.35. As many people who have had plates from us know, this really does not make your design a lot thicker, but it helps with creating the neck, the beard on the plate that supports your design when the plate's being made. I've added that stroke. I've now drawn another line close to my artwork, and we're just going to see how that compares to those fine areas of text. We try to check every single piece of artwork that comes into us for plate making, just to make sure that your plates will hold. You can see here we're not far off, but the Affinity, like I say, won't let me use that 0.05 point difference. Now this second part, I'm showing you how to make sure that your blacks are 100% K. So obviously it's the CMYK document, and we need to make the plates, the blacks need to be 100% K. I've just selected the text, I've selected the fill, and I've just gone into the colour chooser, and I've selected 100% black. I think, in honesty, I could have set this up at the very beginning if I'd have looked close enough at the settings when I was pasting in my text and checking the colours then, which would have saved me having to do it now. I'm now doing the same thing for the dragonfly, because this is important that we have your files in this format. Now I think this part, this last bit, is the most important thing when it comes to sending your files to us. Now you can see I've selected the export persona at the top left, and then I've come over to the right hand side where you can see the export options. So I've gone into defaults, and I think it's important that you possibly copy these settings. We're selecting an SVG for exports because we want to keep those vector files. We're using the document resolution, but we're not allowing it to turn anything into JPEGs. All the text that we have in there, it's converting to a vector, it's exporting as curves. You can see on here again, there's the SVG file. Further down, you can see where we've got export text as curves. Now, when we're ready, we go back to the blue Affinity, the vector drawing icon, and select export. And in here again, see the settings. We are exporting as a PDF file. There are several presets already set up in there, but as you look, as I slowly scroll down, you can see what we're doing. So we're asking it not to rasterize anything, not to turn anything into a nasty pixelated image. We want to keep our vectors clean and pure, and hopefully 100% black. And again, the text as curves, so that if we don't have your fonts embedded or installed on our system, we then don't have to worry about substituting fonts. Once that's done, we just click export, we save the file, replacing an old one I was playing with earlier. And then just to show you how easy what we've just done is, I'm going to open that file in Illustrator, because this is where we check all of your files for blacks, for line thicknesses, to make sure everything works. I'm just going to open it up in Illustrator, and here you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, I'm just going to select the text. It's outlined, it's already a vector, it's been converted to curves, and everything is 100% black. You can see in the top right hand corner.